This video is dedicated to Christian Eriksen. Stay strong, Christian. Get well soon. Originally, the Denmark national football team were meant to have no part in Euro 1992. Yugoslavia were initially meant to partake, but due to political upheaval and the breakup of the Union, they were forced to withdraw from Euro 92. The party representing Denmark were invited to take Yugoslavia's place, and only had 1 week to pack their bags for the tournament. But Denmark's performance at the tournament would shock the footballing world. This is a story of Euro 92, a Danish miracle. In the early 1990s, Yugoslavia was involved in turmoil. A civil war had broken out that led to the federation disbanding. The conflict in Yugoslavia caused them to be banned from Euro 92. As a result, the team that finished second in their qualifying group, Denmark, would be invited instead. Only 1 week before the tournament, Richard Moller-Nielsen's players had to prepare to travel to Sweden for the 1992 European Championships. Fortune didn't appear to be on their side, with perhaps their best player, Michael Laudrup, deciding to stay at home rather than travel with the squad. Midfielder Kim Vilfort would join the squad late, as his 7-year-old daughter was fighting leukemia in the hospital. Fortunately, they still had a good group of players, including the likes of legendary goalkeeper Peter Schmeichel, Jon Jensen and Brian Laudrup. The Danes would not have an easy task in the group stage though, facing England, Sweden and France. The Danes' opening game against England was promising, with the game finishing with a 0-0 draw. However, the next game against host Sweden did not go to plan, with a Thomas Brolin goal firing the Swedes to a 1-0 victory. Denmark faced a monumental task if they were to have any chance of getting through the group stage and into the semi-finals. They would be up against a France side that contained the likes of Jean-Pierre Papin, Emmanuel Petit, Laurent Blanc and Eric Cantona. Amazingly, Denmark took an early lead through midfielder Henrik Larsson in the 8th minute. In the 60th minute, France would equalise through Papin, but a 78th minute goal from Lars Elstrup sealed a shock win for the Danes. Denmark were into the semi-finals. Kim Vilfort had missed the clash with the French due to the fact his daughter's condition had taken a turn for the worse. Whilst he wished to set the tournament aside and focus on being with his family, his loved ones persuaded him to return to Sweden and help his country in the semi-finals. Denmark's semi-final would be no easy task. They were up against the holders, the Netherlands. The Dutch had won the Euros 4 years earlier in West Germany and boasted the likes of Ruud Gullit, Marco van Basten, Dennis Bergkamp, Frank de Boer, Frank Rijkaard and Jan Wouters. Understandably, they were favourites to reach the final. Only 5 minutes in though, Henrik Larsson met a Brian Laudrup cross to put Denmark into the lead. Dennis Bergkamp would equalise for the Dutch in the 23rd minute, but only 10 minutes later, Larsson would get his second to show the Danes were unfazed. The Danes fought valiantly for the rest of normal time, with Kim Vilfort, despite his personal issues, putting in an inspired display in the centre of the park. But in the 86th minute, their hearts are broken when Frank Rijkaard levelled the scores. The game would go through extra time with neither side finding a winner. The game would go to a penalty shootout. Ronald Koeman took the first penalty and blasted it into the net. Larsson stepped up next, and despite the keeper getting a hand on it, the ball trickled into the bottom corner. Next up was Marco van Basten, the man who scored the goal that settled the previous Euros, and at the time had won 2 Ballon d'Ors and 2 European Cups. He stepped up and aimed for the corner, but the Great Dane Peter Schmeichel was able to thwart him. Schmeichel kept Van Basten out and jubilantly punched the air. It was advantage to Denmark. Both teams continued to net their kicks, but with Denmark having the advantage, all they had to do was continue scoring. With the shootout score at 4-4, Kim Christofte had the chance to win the game for the Danes. He stepped up and calmly placed the ball into the bottom corner. Denmark were in the final. The Danes would be up against Germany in Gothenburg. Germany had won the World Cup only 2 years earlier as West Germany, and with the likes of Stefan Effenberg and Jürgen Klinsmann in their side, they were expected to take the trophy home. But having upset the odds so much already, the Danes weren't going down without a fight. Germany tried to get their noses in front quickly and meet the expectations. Schmeichel made a save from Effenberg to show he was not going to be beaten easily. In the 18th minute, Flemming Povelsen surged into the box and cut the ball back for Moller-Nielsen on the edge of the area. Jensen hit it first time and the ball flew into the net. Denmark had a shock lead. Germany had a series of chances to equalise, but Schmeichel could not be beaten. The Great Dane was in inspired form, fighting tooth and nail to preserve Denmark's lead. The game dragged on, with the score remaining 1-0 to Denmark. But with 12 minutes left, history was sealed. Kim Vilfort pounced on a header towards the German box. With one touch, he was able to cut inside and bamboozle the two German defenders on him. He steadied himself and fired the ball towards goal. The shot hit the inside of the post, but went on the right side of the goal line. Denmark had scored again, and the game was sealed. Full time soon went, and one of football's most unlikely triumphs had occurred. Denmark, a team who just over a week before the tournament were not even meant to partake, had against the odds won the European Championships by defeating 3 of the best teams in the world. Lars Olsen proudly lifted the trophy in the air. It was Denmark's first, and to date only, major international honour. Denmark returned home to jubilant scenes. A nation seemingly there to make up the numbers were now returning home as heroes. Sadly for Kim Vilfort, his daughter lost her battle with cancer a few weeks after the final. But Line Vilfort persuaded her father to rejoin the squad, and as a result, he scored the goal that sealed the European Championships. Whilst Line's life may have been short, her actions helped Denmark to win the Euros, so her legacy to Danish football stands to this day. Denmark's 1992 victory is one of football's greatest fairy tales. An unprepared side that most wrote off straight away were able to shock the footballing world. Their story is one of the most incredible underdog tales in the history of sport, and it shows that anything is possible.